Hello, I'm Carlton Van Putten, founder and CEO of PayRent. Welcome to the Keys to Success podcast, where we unlock the secrets to smarter investments, smoother tenant management, and bigger profits, one episode at a time. Ready to master your property game? Let's dive in.
Welcome back, landlords, and welcome to Keys to Success,
Keys to Success.
where we unlock the secrets to maximizing your real estate investments.
Yeah.
Today,
Today.
we're diving deep into a topic that's probably every landlord's worst nightmare,
Oh, yeah,
squatters' rights in California.
definitely.
Let's face it,
Yeah.
the thought of someone illegally occupying your property is enough to send shivers down your spine.
Oh, for sure.
But don't worry, we've got you covered.
Absolutely.
We're going beyond the horror stories and arming you with the knowledge you need to protect your valuable investments.
That's right.
So, you've heard the phrase, knowledge is power.
Yes.
And in the world of real estate, that's especially true.
Very true.
We're going to demystify the legal jargon surrounding adverse possession,
Right.
and most importantly, equip you with the tools and strategies to stay in control of your property.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's jump right in.
Okay.
We all know the term squatter,
Sure.
but can you clarify how they differ from a simple trespasser? What sets them apart in the eyes of the law?
Well, the distinction is crucial.
Okay,
A trespasser is on your property without permission, but they're not seeking ownership.
right.
They might be passing through
Okay,
or seeking temporary shelter.
got it.
A squatter, however,
Yeah.
is aiming for something far more serious.
Yeah.
Long-term occupancy.
Oh,
Potentially leading to a legal claim on your property.
oh, wow.
This is where the concept of adverse possession comes into play.
Adverse possession.
Adverse possession.
That sounds ominous.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean for landlords in California?
Well, imagine this.
Oh,
Someone occupies your property continuously for 5 years,
love you here.
meeting specific legal conditions.
Wow.
Believe it or not, in California, they could actually gain legal ownership.
They could gain ownership.
5 years.
That's unbelievable.
It is.
So someone can actually take over my property just by living there.
Yes. If they meet those specific conditions.
What are the specific conditions that allow this to happen?
Okay, so it's not as simple as just moving in and putting your feet up.
Right.
California law requires 3 key elements for a squatter to claim adverse possession.
Mm-hmm.
First, they need to demonstrate a hostile claim.
Hostile.
This means they are occupying the property without your consent,
Oh.
acting as if they have the right to be there.
Right.
They are essentially behaving like the owner, even though they're not.
So hostile doesn't necessarily mean they're being aggressive or threatening.
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
It's more about their legal stance towards the property, not their behavior.
Gotcha.
The key here is they are acting like they own the place. The second condition is exclusive possession.
Exclusive possession.
This means they are the sole occupant, not sharing the property with you,
Okay.
another tenant, or anyone else.
Right.
They need to be in complete control, reinforcing their claim of ownership.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If they were sharing the space, it wouldn't make much sense for them to claim they owned it all. So what's the final hurdle for these potential property grabbers?
The last requirement is continuous occupancy for the full 5 years.
Continuous occupancy.
They need to be living on the property consistently without significant gaps.
Oh, okay.
A few weekend visits or a summer vacation won't cut it.
Right.
The squatter needs to prove an unbroken and continuous presence on your property.
So 5 years straight.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Now, I know this all sounds pretty daunting,
Yeah, it does.
but luckily, California law provides some tools to help you fight back.
Okay, good.
That makes me feel a little better.
That's a relief. I was starting to sweat a little there.
I can imagine.
So what can landlords do to protect themselves from this 5-year nightmare?
Okay, well, there's a new law in California,
Okay.
Senate Bill 602,
Okay.
that makes it easier for landlords to report trespassing and initiate eviction proceedings against squatters.
Okay.
It streamlines the process and gives you more power to act quickly, which is absolutely crucial in these situations.
So time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence.
The faster you act, the better.
Absolutely. Early detection is key.
Okay.
You need to know if someone is on your property illegally, and that means regular property inspections are non-negotiable.
So we're talking about physically going to the property and checking things out.
Exactly.
How often should landlords be doing this?
The frequency depends on the property.
Right.
For vacant properties, I recommend checking at least once a month,
Okay.
if not more frequently.
Got it.
If the property is rented, make sure your lease agreements include clauses about regular inspections.
Good point.
The sooner you identify a squatter, the easier it will be to remove them before they gain any legal ground.
Catching them early seems like a winning strategy.
It is.
Are there other proactive steps landlords can take to prevent squatters from even thinking about moving in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
First and foremost, don't let your property look like an easy target.
Okay.
Maintain the exterior, keep the landscaping tidy, and make it clear that the property is owned and cared for. Squatters often look for places that seem abandoned or neglected.
That makes sense.
Think of it as curb appeal for security.
Curb appeal isn't just for attracting buyers or renters, then it's also about deterring unwanted occupants.
Exactly. It's all about sending a clear message.
Right.
This property is occupied and monitored.
What about security measures?
Yes,
Are those worth considering?
absolutely. Installing security measures like cameras,
Okay.
motion sensor lights, and even alarm systems can be a powerful deterrent.
Good to know.
And if you're feeling overwhelmed or simply don't have the time to manage all this yourself, hiring a property management company can be a lifesaver.
So it's like an insurance policy for your property.
Yeah, you could say that.
They can handle the inspections, maintenance, and even deal with the initial stages of evicting a squatter if necessary.
Right.
That sounds like a worthwhile investment, especially for busy landlords.
It can be a huge help. It definitely can be. Now, let's talk about something else that's probably on your mind. The financial risks associated with squatters.
Yes. Let's dive into that.
Okay.
We've discussed the legal nightmare of adverse possession, but what kind of financial hit can landlords expect if they encounter a squatter?
Well, squatting can impact your wallet in a few ways.
Okay.
First, if a squatter manages to gain ownership through adverse possession, you lose the property altogether.
Oh, no.
That's obviously the worst-case scenario.
Yeah, for sure.
But even if you catch them before they hit that 5-year mark, you could still face significant costs.
So even if you stop them from claiming ownership, there are still financial repercussions.
That's right.
Oh, man.
The eviction process itself can be lengthy and expensive, especially if the squatter fights it.
Right.
You'll likely need a lawyer,
Uh-huh.
and there could be court fees, filing fees, and other legal expenses that can really add up.
It's like death by 1,000 legal cuts.
Yeah, it can feel that way.
What other financial risks should landlords be aware of?
Well, there's also the potential for property damage.
Of course.
Squatters don't always treat properties with the same care as owners or tenants.
Yeah, that's true.
You might have to deal with repairs, cleaning costs, and even replacing stolen or damaged items.
That's adding insult to injury, for sure. And I imagine having squatters on a property could also impact its resale value down the line, right?
You're absolutely right.
Okay.
Potential buyers are going to be wary of a property with a history of squatting. It raises red flags about security, potential legal issues, and the possibility of future problems.
So we're looking at potential financial losses from legal fees, property damage, and a decreased property value.
Exactly.
It's a trifecta of bad news for landlords.
It definitely is not a good situation.
So let's say the worst happens and a squatter has moved onto your property.
Okay.
What are the legal steps you need to take to get them out?
First and foremost, you absolutely cannot try to physically remove a squatter yourself.
Right.
I can't stress this enough.
Okay.
California law is very clear on this point.
Got it.
Trying to force someone off your property without following the proper legal procedures can land you in serious trouble, including criminal charges and lawsuits.
So no DIY eviction tactics.
No, definitely not.
That's a hard no.
A very hard no.
Okay, I got it.
You have to follow a legal process called eviction,
Right.
and it starts with serving the squatter with a formal notice to quit.
Okay, a notice to quit.
This document informs them that they are illegally occupying your property and demands that they leave within a specific time frame, typically 3 days.
Okay, 3 days.
That's the standard.
And what happens if they ignore the notice and refuse to leave?
Right.
What's the next step?
If the squatter doesn't vacate the property after being served with the notice to quit, you need to file an unlawful detainer lawsuit in court.
Okay, an unlawful detainer lawsuit.
This is a legal action specifically designed to evict someone unlawfully occupying a property.
So you're essentially taking them to court to get a judge's order to force them out.
Precisely.
Okay.
You'll need to present evidence of your ownership of the property, proof that you properly served the squatter with the notice to quit, and any other relevant documentation supporting your case.
Assuming the judge rules in your favor, what happens next?
If the court determines that the squatter is indeed illegally occupying your property, they will issue a writ of restitution.
A writ of restitution.
This legal document authorizes law enforcement to physically remove the squatter from the premises.
So that's where the cavalry comes in.
Yes, exactly.
The authorities can step in and handle the removal.
That's right.
Okay.
Remember, you cannot legally remove a squatter yourself, but law enforcement can if they have a court order.
Right.
It's important to remember that the eviction process can take time.
Uh-huh.
The courts are often backlogged, and the squatter has the right to challenge the eviction, which can cause further delays.
So patience is key here.
Patience is definitely key.
It's not a quick fix.
No, it's not, unfortunately.
Good.
Now, since we're talking about legal processes, are there any recent changes to the law that landlords should be aware of?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Are there any new legal tools available to landlords in California?
Yes, actually.
Okay.
Remember that new law we touched on earlier, Senate Bill 602?
Right, SB 602.
Yes.
Can you remind us what this law does for landlords facing a squatter situation?
Of course.
Okay.
One of the most significant changes is that it allows landlords to electronically file a notice of trespassing with the local sheriff's department.
Oh.
This can help expedite the eviction process.
Okay.
Because it gives law enforcement an official record of the illegal occupancy.
So it's like putting them on notice officially.
Exactly. It creates a paper trail and helps streamline the process for dealing with squatters.
I see.
The new law also clarifies certain aspects of adverse possession, making it more challenging for squatters to successfully claim ownership.
So it's a win for landlords in terms of making the eviction process more efficient and making it harder for squatters to take over properties.
It definitely is.
That's good.
It's a positive step and shows that California lawmakers are taking the issue of squatting seriously.
Okay, that's encouraging news. But even with these new legal tools, it seems like the best strategy is still prevention, right?
Absolutely. Prevention is always better than cure.
Right.
We've already covered some practical steps like regular inspections, maintaining your property, and using security measures. But there's another important tip that many landlords overlook.
I'm all ears. What's this secret weapon in the fight against squatters?
It's simple but effective. Regularly check your property taxes.
Property taxes.
Remember, one of the requirements for adverse possession is that the squatters must pay property taxes for 5 consecutive years.
Oh, right.
If you stay on top of your tax payments, you'll be immediately alerted if someone else tries to pay them on your behalf.
That's brilliant. I never would have thought of that.
Yeah, it's a good one.
So it's not just about inspecting the physical property, but also keeping a close eye on the financial records associated with it.
Exactly. It's an additional layer of protection and can help you catch a squatter early on in the game.
You've given us so much valuable information today, and it's clear that this is a complex issue with many legal nuances.
It is.
For our listeners who might be feeling a bit overwhelmed, what's the one key takeaway they should remember?
The most important thing is to be proactive.
Okay, proactive.
Don't wait until you have a squatter problem to start thinking about prevention and legal strategies.
Right.
Stay informed about the laws, consult with professionals when needed, and take steps to protect your property.
Solid advice. Knowledge truly is power, especially when it comes to safeguarding your investments.
It really is.
So if our listeners take away one thing from this deep dive into squatters' rights, it should be this. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and don't give squatters a chance to take root on your property.
Well said. Remember, the law is on your side, but you need to be proactive and utilize the tools at your disposal.
Before we wrap things up, I have one final question. Okay. What's the single most effective thing a landlord can do today to protect themselves from this squatter nightmare?
Schedule a property inspection.
Okay.
Even if you believe your property is secure, a quick check can save you a mountain of trouble down the line.
Right.
And if you're not comfortable handling this yourself, remember, property management companies can take care of this for you.
That's excellent advice. It's like the saying goes, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure.
Exactly.
Well, expert speaker, thank you so much for diving deep with us today. This has been eye-opening, to say the least. I feel much better equipped to handle this issue now.
It's been my pleasure. And remember, landlord's knowledge is your best defense. Stay informed, stay proactive, and keep those squatters at bay.
That's a wrap on another Keys to Success Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with more insights to help you navigate the world of real estate. Until then, happy investing. And remember to keep those properties squatter-free.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Keys to Success. I invite you to check out past episodes and follow us on your favorite podcast platform to get notified when new ones are released. And when you're ready to simplify managing your properties, be sure to visit us at www.payrent.com.